Bot makers focus on a chatbot's capabilities, but bot users often focus on what a bot can't do, and a fallback design can make or break a brand. This is the most common fallback design pattern, and unfortunately the one that has given chatbots a bad name. The problem is not that the bot didn't have a response to either message, but each fallback message is repetitive and negative, so it reinforces the limitations of the bot. In this example, a bot maker will attempt to mask the chatbot's inability to respond by randomizing the fallback message. Randomizing fallback messages might be a more creative way to distract the user from a bot's inability to respond, but simply alternating failure messages is a short-lived strategy that won't help the user with a brand. The fallback pattern I like best for a Facebook bot is what I call the 3 strikes rule. Rather than admit failure immediately every time the bot receives a message it can't understand, the bot will give the user 3 chances to provide input, helping the user and the brand get closer to their goal. When a user first sends a message the bot can't respond to, I start a strike count behind the scenes, and each subsequent message that triggers the fallback response will increase the strike count by 1. With 3 strikes, I'll give the user buttons that guide them, and then reset the count. In my example, the user said, "I'd like to order pizza. Do you still deliver at this hour?" And the bot didn't have a response to that. That's our strike 1. Rather than immediately emphasize that the bot is incapable of responding, there is a chance that if the user simply rephrases their message, the bot might understand the input and trigger the right response. So you can set your strike count to 1 and then ask them to send another message, but in a different way. If the user sends another message that the bot can't understand, you can increase the strike count to 2. But you'll want to make the message more useful. Let's break it down. When the user got their strike 1 message, the bot responded and asked them to send another message. So when they get their strike 2, the bot can thank them for doing what it asked them to do when they got their strike 1. Even though the bot had no response to the user's message, the bot appears to be clever and at least respectful of the user's time by acknowledging and thanking the user for following the bot's instruction. The second part of this message says, "Let's try one more time." The wording signals to the user that they should not expect the same response the next time they send a message, and that any frustration will be finite. The bot is more explicit in its respect for the user's time. This message also provides them with some guidance. So now you might suggest ways for the user to communicate and increase chances of getting back the right response to their input. And so here's my strike 3 message here. At this point, I'll give them buttons and I'll guide them. I don't like to rely on buttons. I like to collect data. You don't really know when the user's going to have a question. So I like to give the user a chance to send a message, and then if I can't understand them, then I'll guide them. Now, you might have other options or more. I just have one button that would then link them to a menu of capabilities and help them navigate my experience. But I like to keep it short and simple. So I just have 2 buttons. One is this button, my capabilities, that refocuses the user on what my bot can do to help them. And then the other is human. And that's because the user might be confident at this point that the bot isn't going to be able to answer my question. So I want to retain them and provide them with that path. I'll pause the automation and link them into a conversation with a human. So that's the 3 strikes rule. And while your messaging might be different than my messaging, I think what's clear is that you're able to have an intelligent conversation with your user, even though your chatbot didn't understand a single message the user sent.